Hello, hello. Alright, hold on.
I had to restart it or something.
Okay, I can hear you now. Yay.
All right.
Alright, let me make sure I got you. Get your link here. And I'll bring you in.
Gotta find my list.
There you are. Make you a little bigger.
That's not something I've ever heard said before.
Yeah, that looks good. And then if I mute you here, right? Talk again? Nope. I mute you here.
Here, maybe here is where you
There.
mute me.
There's 2 mute buttons, and I always get it wrong.
Okay, what the heck? I know I put it here somewhere. Oh, that's why. Okay, I didn't put Pre-3, I put S5. That's why I couldn't find it. I found it.
Yay! How have you been?
Not bad. How about you?
Been doing all right.
I mean, still job hunting, but you know.
Yeah. Any good leads yet?
Well, no, not really.
That's too bad.
I'm working a little bit of part-time, doing what Laurel does, but
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this for much longer. A
Yeah.
lot of work for very, 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 very little pay.
Yeah. That's too
She
bad.
is really good at what she does. So
Yeah, I was gonna say she's probably able just to crank them out real quick.
yeah, and it takes me about an hour, and I'm making very little money.
Because it's production based. It's not hourly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Let me tell you, you should get a job with the Fed. It's the easiest fucking shit in the world.
I would like to. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you, usajobs.gov.
usajobs.gov. usagov.jobs. That's not it.
Whoops. Pretty sure that's the website.
USA Jobs. Shape America's future.
Yep.
Remote.
Yeah.
Remotely piloted vehicle engineering technicians. Gonna apply. I'm not gonna apply.
There you go. Remote vehicle.
I'll have to get a steering wheel like Tater has.
There you go. Speaking of Tater and hi Stormy. As soon as she's done with
good
the
evening,
ad.
Tater and Stormy.
Oh, I forgot to run the ad. All right, one more minute. Take that, Stormy.
Uno minuto.
I wonder if she just got hit with a second one.
Oh gosh, you're out here.
Oh, okay. Tater's getting one. Supposedly, if I run the manual one, supposedly if I run the manual one, it stops people from getting them for quite a while, so.
See, I went into my options and I changed the ads and stuff back on, but I guess people don't get them maybe because they're subscribed to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that too.
I don't think Tater's subscribed to me. Does Tater get, I'll have to ask him if he gets ads when he checks in on Monday nights. Oh, God, stop with the yawning. I ate probably about an hour ago, so now I'm like, oh, sleepy time.
Kylo is very quiet. Alright, I can fix that. Alright, Kylo has been boosted by 50%.
I have been boosted by 50%. Bow down, mortals.
Alright. Ooh, phone ad. Okay, well, it's been
1 week since you looked at me.
6 minutes almost, so let's get going.
Okay.
So, welcome to Post 3, where we're basically just gonna look at the last 2 weeks of wheel results, which we actually had 2 hits on week 20.
There you go. Yeah, I see
Pretty
that.
cool.
Carlips and Tom.
And no hits on week 19, so it evens out. And then I figured we'd go over our top 20. And discuss what we liked, what we didn't like, and
See
rank
if any
them.
of ours match.
Yeah, let's see if we have any ranking matches. I wonder if our number one's gonna match. Honestly, it might.
I maybe, possibly.
I suspect it will.
Do you want to start at the bottom or start at the top?
I was thinking start at the bottom.
Okay.
So, why don't you go ahead?
Well, for the worst game of the season, I have chosen Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh, okay. Street Fighter Alpha. Now explain why you hated Street Fighter Alpha so much.
I cannot stand fighting games.
Yeah.
I'm not good at them. They can all go to hell. Except Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm decent at that.
Oh, I do like Marvel vs. Capcom. It's just, it's so silly that it's fun. Even if you do bad, it's still fun.
Yeah.
So my number 20 was the Blue Waffle Sonic CD. And the only reason it's the bottom is that I came into the game with higher expectations. You know, I came into it thinking it's going to be like 2 or 3 in Knuckles, and I was just so severely disappointed by what I was given that it killed me. And it was 5 hours.
Fair.
That's the only reason that it beat my 19 for worst game.
No, that game falls solidly between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3.
Mm-hmm. Both of which are better games.
2 can be switched back or forth. I really like what they did with Sonic CD. Like, they tried something new with like the different timelines and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Did it work? Not everyone's gonna say yes. Not everyone's gonna say no. But
yeah, to me, well, especially in the scope of the wheel challenge, I feel like whatever they were trying to do with the time warp didn't do anything for us. It's just like, oh, I'm in this time zone now, whatever. The bonus stage was atrocious.
The bonus stage was atrocious because of the depth perception or lack thereof.
Yeah, exactly. It was absolutely early 3D mode 7 hitboxes. It's just like, oh, it was a victim of the tech of the times, which it could have been great. Honestly, you remaster that with some better hit detection, and that would be fun.
I think if it was better physics as well, like make it smoother, it'd be good as well. Like make it move, make it feel like Sonic 3.
Yes.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Absolutely, 100%. Morning, evening, Deck. Morning, evening. I don't know.
Deck. I see Ash's rankings for 20 and number 1.
Doesn't like Tomb Raider, loved FTL. That's fair. What do you got for 19, Kylo?
I have Tomb Raider.
Oh. Yeah, I could see that. I don't
even with the Decky cosplay, I know that Tater's talking to Ashley, but even with I have to say, even with the Decky cosplay, that game sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure the remasters are great, but the one that we've got stuck with, absolute shit. Controls, and it wouldn't have been so bad, except like the game in the tutorial was like, okay, here are the controls, and it made you think, okay, this is actually doable. I was doing well in the tutorial, and then trying it out in the actual game, nah, fuck.
Yeah, it's a clunky mess. I kind of enjoyed it, and to spoil it, I don't have it a whole lot higher than you do. But like, yeah, the movement is just so clunky. And while I enjoyed the platforming parts of, you're trying to gauge the distance and jump and trying to grab ledges and shimmy over and all that, It's when you throw the combat into Tomb Raider that I'm just like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
The combat just feels so like alien. You know, you have no idea what you're doing. You just there's no smoothness to it at all. You're just every combat I did in Tomb Raider, I just stood still and fired. Whatever,
Pretty much, yeah.
whatever damage I took, I just med packed it off.
I mean, I didn't kill much beyond bats and wolves, but yeah, I think I quit when I died to a bear, and I just said, fuck it.
Decky's putting his fisticuffs up. He's ready. So 19 for me was E.T. That was one of the few games I was actually legitimately getting frustrated at, and I think it was E.T. and Sonic CD were the only two I actually got mad at.
I remember you getting a little bit mad in Lemmings.
Oh yeah, I got a little spicy on Lemmings too, but I actually had a bit of fun with Lemmings.
Oh yeah,
E.T.
Lemmings was fun, but there were just some situations.
Getting into E.T. like I knew it was a bad game, right? I came into with the expectation this is going to be awful, and I think that kind of dulled the pain a bit. But when like the FBI fucking camps me and won't let me do what I need to do, he just literally won't leave the screen, and the controls are ass. Everything about it was ass, and the one thing that saved it from the bottom is that it was only 1 hour.
Fair enough.
What do you got for 18?
For number 18, I have Metal Slug X.
Wow. Okay, this is the first one that's a surprise to me.
I don't mind shmups so much, but this was a mix of trying to get MAME to work, and when it finally did work, it didn't work well, and then I'm constantly pushing the same button repeatedly. A little bit redundant there. And even though I played probably 20 minutes tops, my thumb and like going into my forefinger were cramped to hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that I didn't need any. Decky, for what it's worth, Decky was behind the scenes. I mean, you can do this, Kylo. You know, you get in a top spot, or you get into a certain point, and you can beat me on on season standings. And I'm like, no, I value my thumb and finger way more than that.
Yeah, and that was something I brought up to Quantum too. Is when I was when you get in one of the later levels, there's a spot where you have to shoot a train to prevent it from running you over, and the first 2 times I tried that, like my hand hurt so bad. Eventually, though, on my 3rd round through, what I had done is I had switched the position of the controller and did my Mario Party trick to jam on the thing.
See, halfway through, like I want to say the first level, I instead of using my thumb, I did just repeatedly bash down with my forefinger.
Yeah, like Decky's saying, the lack of auto fire, I think that would have probably helped a lot. And
I gladly would have given it another shot if there was hold to auto fire.
Yeah, and I think that's something we can probably take into consideration on shmups and run and guns, is because that shit hurts, dude. Like,
oh yeah,
it's less of a can you do it? Can you push the button fast enough? And how close to carpal tunnel do you want to get? Right. And so I totally get that. Yeah, Tater played Tater and I played together, and we played with auto fire, and it was a blast. So I had kind of given my rankings here, kind of sections. So the bottom 2 here, E.T. and Sonic CD, I had labeled those the Legion of Ass. So now we're getting into the next section, which I have titled Just Meh. Just meh. And I'm going to go with 18, Pokemon Gold.
I thought you were going to upgrade from Legion of Ass to Boardroom of Ass.
The Boardroom of Ass. Yeah, so Pokemon Gold, I think, was mostly just a victim of its rule set. I didn't have any wipes, right? I didn't have any wipes. I went through the whole thing in one go, but just I think the gym leader cap was what kind of killed it for me, because it just felt like it was such a grind and a chore.
I can understand that.
So, but I
agree. So I had to restart like 4 total times or something.
Yeah, you were a champion of that. Um, and yeah, like at its base, Pokemon Gold is probably one of the generations I've played the least.
Yeah.
Other than Sun and Moon, which I've never played. So
Not missing much there.
um, yeah, so it was a generation I'm not really interested in very much. You know, if it was Red, Blue, or even Yellow, or even like the remakes, Leaf Green and Fire Red, you know, I'd probably be a lot more into it just because that was the generation I was way more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think just not the generation I really give a rip about, and the rule set kind of drug it down.
Yeah.
So that's me on Pokemon Gold. What do you got for 17?
For 17, I have Dynamite Heady.
Wow.
Like I enjoy platformers as much as the next Octobot, but man, oh man, let me tell you, that game was shit. It gave you no real clear direction until it was like hit here, and it's like no shit. Thanks for that.
Yep.
But you know, you had the little dude that helped you out, or worse, didn't help you out. Ended up giving you some iron mask or something where you're just like, well, I'm gonna move here for an inch per second and then just fucking die.
Yep.
For a game where you needed to rely on a lot of the power-ups to get through certain areas, I just wasn't having it. And like I said in the submissions chat, the older I get, the less patience I have for BS. Like,
right.
And I just truly found that to be such a BS heavy game.
Yeah, I could see that. I really like Gunstar Heroes, which they also made, and so I went into that thinking, oh, this is gonna be just like Gunstar Heroes. It's gonna be a blast. Well, not really. It was kind of good, but it didn't really do a whole lot to kind of stand out to me.
Yeah, and you said something in your write-up. You said about 2 hours in, it clicked. And now I can understand games where, you know, you're playing in a non-5-hour limit window. Like, if you're just buying a game for the hell of it. I can understand taking the time. But in an environment such as the Wheel, 2 hours to get into a game, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the controls for that game, that's mostly what I was referring to, is because it always felt just weird to run. The running and the jumping and aiming your attacks just kind of felt off until I finally got used to it, and that took me about 2 hours. And I was like, okay, I'm finally comfortable with just the basic controls here and what I'm doing. And even then, it gives you shit like the fucking troll mask, and then you just sit there and take. Oh my god, if the troll mask was cut at least half the time, it would be a little more reasonable, but it's so goddamn long. It's like 30 full seconds.
I got pissed the first time I fell asleep until I realized it regenerates your health. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the manual. I was like, oh, this puts you to sleep and recovers health. That's awesome. I'll take it. But the troll mask, there's a boss on 7-1, I think it was, and he'll occasionally put a troll mask in front of his weak point. And so when you go to attack his weak point, you get troll masked, and then it's just like, oh great, there goes half my fucking health because he's just gonna sit there and wail on me. Oops,
Yep.
I didn't mean to do that.
What did you do?
I switched this over to 1 credit Carnage. Sorry, 16-bit, not today. I bumped my mouse. But yeah, there's just some real bullshit, and some of the checkpoints make no goddamn sense, because you'll have a checkpoint like 30 seconds into a level, and then you'll get the boss of 7-1 where you beat a boss and then have to go into a second boss, and there's no checkpoint between. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So my number
also
7
continues. There were no set continues. You had to actually like get a set amount of points to actually earn your first continue.
Yeah.
That just ain't it either.
Yeah, you have to collect the drops from the bosses. You have to get enough of them. It's like, I don't know, like 60% or something of them. So my 17 was Typing of the Dead.
Really?
Yeah. And I think this one was mostly because I got super fucking hyped for it and then got really disappointed.
That,
Like,
I'll tell you why. That's the same as my 15, actually.
yeah, like I got like so excited for Typing of the Dead and I thought it was going to be an absolute blast. And then I got to the last two stages and I was like, this is just like my hands hurt. This is a chore and I'm not having fun anymore.
I did like that you got a Sonic bit in your, or I guess technically a Knuckles bit.
Knuckles,
in your
yep, I did get a Knuckles story on the one boss. But yeah, part of it was uh, being super excited and then being hit with the reality that, maybe I'm not as good of a typer as I used to be. What do you got on 16, my man?
16 is ET.
Oh, okay.
So this one, and basically, as I'm filling these in, I'm doing a lot of switches along the way, especially as the list gets filled in. But
okay,
I have eventually put ET here just because, like you, I knew that going into it, it was going to be a hard game. I've seen people play, it's been years, but I have seen people play the game, and I was aware of the BS that came along with it, but it was only an hour.
Yep. I think the 1 hour saved it.
Yeah, I don't recall getting like super pissed at it. Just remember eventually, like, yeah, this ain't happening. I was reaching the end of my hour, I believe, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But then I remember like a day after I finished, we had a change to the progression. And I first off thank the council for allowing a better placement for me, because I initially did not submit my placement. I just kind of put it in the back of my head and then completely forgot about it. I have an extremely bad habit of out of sight, out of mind. And that was a case of this. I set it away and then never went back to adjust my placement.
Tater says he spent 20 minutes away from the game and just let the timer run. Which that's fair, yeah.
Yes, Decky, that high.
Yeah.
I preferred ET over Dynamite Heady.
Wow. Yeah, watching like AVGN and stuff on ET, I've seen videos about how bad the game has been, like multiple videos, so yep. I was kind of prepared for how bad it was going to be.
I was not prepared for just like, yeah, how bad it is, but not how bad it is. Like, we had to play on the hardest difficulties, and yeah, those freaking feds, let me tell you.
Yeah,
just spawn camping you, fuck that. That did get aggravating. When I found out that you could like not take damage after falling, how do I want to phrase this? You didn't actually have to fall all the way into a hole. You could stop and then fly up beforehand. That made things a little bit easier.
Right, you could hover, you could like stop yourself from taking the damage if you hovered at just the right time. Yeah.
It didn't stop the fact that you fell into the same hole 23 goddamn times in a row, but
Yeah, the hit detection on trying to get out of a fucking well was the worst. Absolute worst.
And I think I placed this high because, yeah, it was like one dude doing 2 weeks worth of work on the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's not trying it, like, you had a team that put Dynamite Heady together, and dear God. I'm pretty sure they just had a room full of chimpanzees, the blurs to times. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You got to remember that was 2 weeks of work from one dude. Like, the fact that it works at all is amazing.
I'm shocked, Stormy. Shocked.
So, number 16, I have Lara Croft and Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Kind of coming back to, I actually went and finished the game. But I liked the jumping, I liked the running, I liked discovering items and stuff like that. But the combat in it was just absolute awful. It's just so bad. Sorry, Decky, but I did not care for it. I mean, I put it in just meh.
Pirates tomorrow, though, right?
I put it as just meh. It's not terrible, but boy,
it's terrible. Sorry, Decky, but it's terrible.
not ET to me. To me. What do you got on 15?
Hold on. When? I guess maybe it's later today for you. No, when?
No, it's still nighttime for them.
It's nighttime. Yeah, aren't we doing? No, that was Q.
Oh, Decky's
no,
Decky's
he's
responding to
talking
Tater.
He's
Yeah.
talking to Tater. My bad. It clicked. Okay. For 15, I have Nightshade.
Nightshade. Okay.
And this is
Nightshade
one
can't do
like
that.
you, for Typing of the Dead. I really wanted to like this game,
Mm.
but the fact that it put combat into a point and click, horrible combat at that, and then you have to find like the right pixel to click to get out of the fucking conveyor belt thing.
Oh yeah, because there's two There's two levers, and you have to hit the left one, not the right one. But they're right fucking next to each other.
Yeah, it just nope. I'm good.
Yeah, I can get that. The combat in Nightshade was pretty ass.
Nightshade would have been 20 to 15. Yeah, and that's why it's 15 for me. You know, I may go back, and so I'm now into the territory where I may go back and try my hand when I'm not under the 5-hour time limit.
Maybe you can get like you can get help or look something up if you have to.
Well, I would definitely be playing with save states.
Okay, yeah, that too. Save states, yeah.
No,
yeah.
in all the places. Oh, okay.
15, I had motherfucking Lemmings.
Really?
Yeah. I had Lemmings in 15. It started off really good, and towards the end, I started getting some really bad brain cramps. Like I started to get a headache on some of them.
It was so funny because I'm with you there. Like when I'm playing and I'm trying to figure out my own shit, my brain just freezes on certain levels, and then I'll be watching other people and be like, "Oh, that's how I do it."
Yep.
How come I couldn't figure that out while I was playing?
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the problem I had with Lemmings is I wanted a pause button, like a pause shortcut key, so I could pause and then assign an ability to someone at a very specific frame, and then unpause and let it do that. But because
that's understandable.
Because the game requires you to go fast and do it without pausing in between, it's just like, oh, this is ass. And then you had to deal with that horrible mouse sensitivity on that emulator. It was just like, no.
I do remember that now. Yeah.
So,
despite that, I still really enjoyed Lemmings though.
Yeah, like I enjoyed Lemmings as a game and what it was and the puzzles. That I did like that, and that's why this isn't in the Legion of Ass. But it's just like it was a lot of the control and configurations and quality of life stuff. I was like, this is frustrating.
Okay, yeah.
14
for me, Earthworm Jim for the suck round.
Annalid James.
Just a tad bit better than Nightshade. That was actually close, but I figure, Earthworm Jim was also one of those ones where it got pushed into us in a 5-hour time limit, and I have to sneeze. Hold on, my nose is tickling like crazy. But I don't think it's gonna happen, is it? Hold on. No. Yes. No. No. Okay. Yes. No. And it for the future, since I don't think that can be on the wheel anymore anytime soon. It may be one that I go back and do a save state run with. So
I mean, it's the off season. You can play whatever you want right now.
True that.
Yeah, I love Earthworm Jim, but that is solely a me thing, and I completely acknowledge that.
Yeah.
For 14,
Excuse me.
14, I had Street Fighter Alpha. I'm not really big on fighting games, and while I did, beat it, Bison is a motherfucker. He just absolute asshole. And I had a bit of disappointment in this game as well, but only a little bit, because I played this game in like the arcades, and I loved it. I loved it then. I was like, man, this is so cool. This is like Street Fighter, but more edgy and cool. And now that I actually sit down and, have more than 3 credits worth of tokens on me, I'm like, okay, well, maybe this isn't as good as I thought it was. It is what it is. It was still a decent game.
Agree to disagree.
13.
And I say that because obviously it's my 20.
Yeah.
13. I have, of all things, Super Mario Kart here.
Oh.
I remember this game fondly as a kid. And then I started thinking, shit, maybe I was thinking of Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
And getting those two misconstrued, because I played both of them a lot, but the actual SNES Mario Kart can just go away.
Mm-hmm.
Future iterations, of course, were great. Like Double Dash will always be my favorite. But the original just woof. I mean, yeah, I'm older and my reflexes aren't as good as when I was a kid, and I don't have the patience for when I had a kid. But there were just some times where the fact that the computer can just use their items, they only get one item.
Their ability,
they can use
yeah.
it whenever.
Yeah. Literally just back to back if they wanted to. You see it a lot with Mario and Luigi going back to back with their stars.
Especially. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Their star is done, and before you even finish it, nope, they're starting right up again.
They're just right back to a star. Yeah. Yep. I can totally understand that. There was a lot of hankering for Mario 64. That's for sure. A lot of people saying, "Oh, I know Garlips was definitely hankering for 64."
I would love Mario 64. I love that game. The music, the atmosphere, just everything about that game, except for the cameras. But yeah, if we get Mario 64, hey Sam, if we get Mario 64 at some point, that'd be great.
Mario Kart, Mario 64, both of them.
Like just actual Mario 64, not Mario Kart 64. I wouldn't mind Mario Kart 64 either, but actually Mario 64. Oh, hi butthole.
Hey, be nice to Sam. For 13, I had Dynamite Heady. Still in the meh tier. I was able to get pretty far into it. I mean, I'm only like 5 levels from the end.
Yeah.
But this is a game I'd really like to have been able to look up strategies, especially for the boss of 7-1. Because I don't know if I mentioned it, I spent like 5 continues on that one boss, just trying over and over and over.
At least you get 20 per character, right?
On Dynamite Heady?
No, I've been distracted by a cat for some reason. I thought we were actually talking about Street Fighter Alpha.
No, Dynamite Heady.
I am being very distracted by a cat.
No
right
kidding. So yeah, like just it's and then even then, once I finally beat it, I got to a level where I just didn't know how to progress. It just kept instant killing me. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's less fun.
I think the boss that I ended up on was like some clothing boss or something.
Yeah, the boss with the dress.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's pretty tough. All right, number 12.
Number 12, I have Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man.
For one, the song just is repetitive and it gets in your head and it is annoying AF.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be smoother than it was. It is, for a Temple Run style game, it is extraordinarily clunky. Mm-hmm. If you are off by like the tiniest pixel left or right, you will fall in a hole, get hit by concrete, a steel beam, or a truck. Speaking of Pepsi Man, this guy got in my face when I was playing and still somehow beat the level.
That's right.
But overall, like I got to the factory, I'm fairly certain, and if I go back, it'll definitely be something where I don't have to worry about starting from the beginning with it for a continue. Not that I'm fairly certain I got near the end. I think there was only like one level after the one I did.
Yeah, you got really close to the end.
But this borders on the line of I could go back, but I got so far I just don't really care.
Yeah, that's.
But for what I did play, I ultimately, sans the music, did somewhat enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, I liked Pepsi Man. Number 12, I had Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Okay.
San Andreas.
San Andreas.
I
hate sand.
There's just, I don't know. This one was pretty good. I kind of thought the police missions were just complete ass. But I had a lot of fun doing the fire truck missions and the ambulance missions, like just busting up laughing on some of the shenanigans that would happen.
Oh man, I was really sad that as the season went on, there were fewer and fewer shenanigans, just because I think people were kind of getting burnt out.
Yeah.
But Grand Theft Auto provided some great laughs, like
the
cop that just came slamming into my ambulance.
Yeah.
I had no stars, and then he's like, he killed a patient, and he's like, get out of the car. I'm like, why? What the hell?
He slammed into you and then blamed you for it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's like real life, but come on.
Yeah, GTA had some of the best clips. That one and Monkey Ball, I felt like had the best clips of the season.
Yes.
But yeah, for the scope of the wheel, getting into the fire and the ambulance missions were great. I would have liked to have been doing the taxi missions rather than the police missions, just because the police missions are so fucking hard. But then I went on to play it afterwards too, and then like all Grand Theft Auto games, I lost interest about 25% into the game, and then went and fucked off to do something else.
Which is amazing because you played that for at least 1 or 2 weeks straight afterward.
Yeah, I played it a whole bunch.
You continue loading up the emulator, so
yeah,
to get only 25% in, that's
well, it's because I do all the side shit. As soon as the side shit becomes available to me, I go out and do it, and then I lose track of whatever the fuck is going on in the story. And then it shits you over to another island, and I'm like, I feel like I'm starting the whole damn game over again.
It took me a while to get my bearings straight and figure out where an ambulance would spawn in. That's for damn sure.
I lucked out and found the fire truck spawn real quick. So, number 11.
Number 11 for me was Doom.
Doom.
Now, this is obviously a return of the legend, and so I enjoyed it the first time through. This one, not so much, but still at its core was still Doom. I did like the rule set first time through, where we could restart it at a save point of our choosing, but it would cost us a life.
Yeah.
In this one, you had to restart all the way over, and if you were on one of the long levels, which I think I was once or twice, it got annoying.
Yep.
I didn't make it nearly as far as I did because of that rule set. But I still like Doom overall. It's one that I tried playing the PC version, or the Steam version, but I couldn't get the buttons to work. Like, my mouse was moving up and down and left and right, but all I could ever do was move left or right with it. And I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll fuck around with it later, and I never did. So.
Yeah, I just in general like Doom. I literally went on to play all of the Doom over the off season. Literally every single fucking Doom I've played now.
Yes, you have.
And beat. Yeah, I kind of dig having the mid-level saves, especially for that reason, because there are some levels that go really fucking long, or they have a boss fight at the very end, and you can get just minced real quick. So.
Mm-hmm. I would also go and play it on an easier difficulty.
Nah, difficulty's fine. I'll disagree with you on that one.
I mean, just for the sake of getting through the game faster.
Oh, fair. Yeah, okay.
I for what it's worth, it was a good challenge. I had really no problem with the difficulty. It was definitely the rule sets with that caused the issues.
Yeah, when I went through and played all Doom, I did it on the ultra violence for every single one except for Doom Eternal's DLC because it really got monotonous and stupid, and I'm just like, no, I'm turning this down. I'm not having fun with it anymore.
Yeah.
Number 11, moving on from just meh to the GG section. Worms Armageddon.
Okay.
I like Worms Armageddon. I had a lot of fun with this, and I really liked how the difficulty ramped up at a good pace. I felt like it didn't feel like there's any sharp difficulty spikes on it. And obviously, the more you played and the more you experimented, the better you got with different things. I think the only thing I didn't like was if you lost, you could lose a rank.
Yeah.
That part sucked, but the rest of it I felt it was a great game. It was a lot of fun. I've only played it on the PS1 prior to this, so playing it on the PC, I felt like I had a lot more precise control over things.
Right.
So I enjoyed it. Number 10. Number 10
for me ended up being Rocket Knight Adventures.
Oh.
This was a game where, playing it, I was cursing up a storm, but then got into a back and forth with Tater, and actually ended up enjoying myself more than I thought I would with it, except for that still stupid, what is it, World 5 fight or something? The Rock'em Sock'em robots, basically. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Once I figured out the strategy to him, once I figured out how to bait him into an attack and then counter, then I was like, okay, this isn't so bad.
Yeah. But ultimately, that was a game where off-screen I went through, and even with
I remember
with save states, went through and beat. So
nice. I love seeing that when people will play on the wheel and they're like, you know what, this was good enough for me to take it off the wheel and finish it in my own time. Like, you just, in general, you love seeing that.
I did that, and I ended up doing that with Dark Cloud. Ended up beating that game.
Same.
Started Dark Cloud 2. I just haven't gotten much headway into it though. So
I bought
much
Dark
to
Cloud
Stormy
2.
chagrin.
Yeah, I bought Dark Cloud 2 and then haven't played it yet, but I did finish. I did finish the first one.
There you go.
Number 10, I had Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fond memories of this game because I played the absolute shit out of the SNES version. So going back to it, I was able to kind of see a lot more of the flaws that I didn't remember there being.
And there were some.
But I think having a lot of that baked in muscle memory just from years and years and years ago, and just having a lot of the tracks already memorized kind of helped with the experience. And then, even being able to see some of the flaws, I was able to play around them. Like the Mario Star, just it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to pick a different racer, so I have a different rival.
Yeah.
So it was good.
But still,
And it was
being an earlier game, you don't get many players to choose from.
Yep. So you kind of had to play within a box, just to kind of work around some of the things, but it wasn't too bad. And I still had a good time with it, even if I came inches from beating Special Cup and still never took it home.
Who just installed something in Steam? Is that your end? I didn't hear anything on mine.
Oh, that was me. One of my shared libraries is now available to play.
Ah, yes.
Number 9. We're in the top 9.
Top 9 for me. Number 9 for me was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Okay.
I, despite not doing very well with it, enjoyed the game. Um, it was always fun driving around, pretending to help people, even though I'm not a licensed paramedic. um, uh, Genuinely was fun watching everybody's clips on that, though. It was one of
God.
the games where I was like, okay, I'm excited to watch other people play this.
Hmm.
Um, I gave it my all that round, but was not good. Controls were pretty tight in that, and I did not like the as you mentioned, the police car, the objectives.
Yeah.
Those were tough.
Yeah. Vigilantes were tough, and GTA also spawned your Dooty Doo song.
That's right. It did. Oh man, that was great.
The birthplace. That was yeah. GTA seriously probably one of the high points of the season right off the bat.
Yeah.
Just so much fun. Number 9, I had Metal Slug X. I'm a big fan of Metal Slug just in general. I love the animation. I love the quality that goes into the game. Run and gun is great. Just in it is the quintessential arcade game, right? You go in, you plop in 75 cents, a dollar, whatever, and you play for 10, 15 minutes. It
I
just
gotta disagree with you. Like I'll say that it is a quintessential arcade game,
mhm.
but for me, that will always either be the Ninja Turtles or Simpsons.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah. Surprised we didn't get The Simpsons nominated.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I
Should
didn't think about it until just now. Actually,
should do that up for next season. Um, but yeah, like I've enjoyed basically all the Metal Slugs I've ever played, and I love just everything about it. And I had a nice high point there where uh, Quantum started talking shit to me, and then I immediately just turned the game. I immediately turned the game on and beat him, and I was like, okay, I'm done playing now. So, just I got that little extra fuel, that little extra chip on my shoulder, and it just felt great to crush it.
I know what you mean. Like with Rocket Knight Adventures, I really wish the chip on my shoulder would have helped me out in the long run against Tater, but ultimately he succeeded. Again, still good job, Tater, on that one. That was really well done. But
Hi, Steven.
I still enjoyed that. So
Yeah. So, yep. Had a good time. Got further than I've ever gotten in that game. And I mean, after that though, 4 credits is pretty impossible.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's really all I gotta say.
I think I ended up losing 2 credits on 2 mummies, and I'm just like, nah, fuck this. I really
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, the mummies are a lot of memorization, just remembering where they are, so you can avoid getting turned into a mummy.
Yeah, because they were on stairs, and I had to jump to attack to hit them.
Or grenade, because it goes in an arc.
Yeah, it was something I thought about later. I was like, I probably could have done the grenade, but I had already uninstalled MAME, never to be reinstalled. My goal for this season was to play all the 20 games, and I did. So in the future, if we ever have to install MAME again, I'm not going to deal with it.
Aw, you can play MAME. It's easy. It just takes.
You say that, but no, I'm just not going to deal with it.
It takes like 5 minutes to set up, and then you get access to a million games. Number 8, I had. Wait, you're number 8? You're number 8. What did you have for number 8?
My number 8. Oh, my number 8 was the Pokemon Gold Hardcore Nuzlocke. And while the rule sets did screw us over, there's no bones about that. It screwed a lot of people over. I still enjoy the older Pokemon games. The fact that I did have to go in and edit some time, as you would call it, I time maged.
Mm-hmm.
When I had just started my 3rd run, I want to say, I gave myself like 5 minutes because I screwed up the time before on my first restart, because I still thought that we could stop time until the game actually got going after we whatever the first time was, you know. But then Hextree filled me in and said, it's like, oh, by the way, no, your time has to go. So I just thought, oh, 5 minutes. But then I went back and it was only like 2-some minutes, which helped me out in the end. So
yeah.
Never take those minutes for granted, let me fucking tell you.
No kidding, you needed every little bit of it. There you go.
Oh, reminds me of the time where I put your face on the Magus sisters.
Oh, yes. Let's see, number 8. Let me bring up my list here. Number 8 was Super Monkey Ball 2.
Oh, okay. We will not have the the top game then.
I had a lot of fun with this, and I thought it was a fantastic nomination, and I thought it fit the wheel really well. There were just a few stages that were just absolutely frustrating to me, and I was like, oh.
Which is hilarious because there were a few stages that were absolutely horrible to everyone else that you just went, my name is Mark, I'm gonna go first clear.
Yep, hold up to win.
I'm not even talking about hold up to win. I'm talking about the one where you
the jellyfish.
The middle. Oh, how you beat the jellyfish without finding the fucking switch is beyond me. But no, I'm talking about the one with the giant column in the middle and it shoots you up, and you're just like, oh, first try through it, done.
Oh, yep. I could kind of tell where it was, so I was just pushing in that general direction and sunk it right in. Just Kobe.
And the comb, yeah, just. And it's funny because Sam has been playing Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz, something, whatever one that has a whole bunch of levels from 2 in it, basically. And yeah, he's really good at the game too. So just seeing those levels again, it brought back some mild PTSD. Like, oh yeah, Mark got that on the first try, and Sam's like, yeah, of course he would.
Of course he would, yeah. I think it was some of the levels in, I think it was World 9, it just absolutely pissed me off.
Man, there were some hard ones in there.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, fuck this. A lot of the levels started to feel like it was less about skill shotting and more about just trying it over and over until you finally sunk one. You know, just basically shooting a ball into a basket.
Yeah. Another thing on his version of the game, the spider level, there are no gaps on the parts that you land on.
Oh, well, that's different. Yeah,
there are some minor changes in the future games. So
interesting. Number 7.
Number 7 for me. This was Typing of the Dead. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Because I figured that it's gonna scale. It's gonna scale to your skill, but there were just some choices made with that game with what came up on screen. Not so much sentences, but just bullshit words spewed together that no one would ever type if it wasn't for that game. You know?
Yep.
Especially towards the end. And I'm a little bit sour on this one because I think this was the one where my time was actually better than Stormy's. So this is for you, Stormy. But I had more hit count, or I had higher hits.
Yep.
So she ended up taking the spot higher than me. So yeah, again, there you go.
Yeah, you're right, Steven. Yeah, we have some very different opinions coming up. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. The dictionary for that game just going absolutely bonkers sometimes with nonsense words. Words that aren't actually words or onomatopoeias or shit like that. Like just. I
tried very hard not to hit the dictionaries.
Yeah. Let's let's see. Number 7, I had Earthworm Jim.
That makes sense that you would have that high up.
Yeah. So Earthworm Jim's a game I've played a lot, especially in the last like 4 years. I've played a lot of Earthworm Jim. Both between the wheel, between Quantum Stream, I've watched a lot of Earthworm Jim. And so it's a game that I have down pat pretty well. And it's a game that I've enjoyed just because it's silly 90s nostalgia. Like, really, that's just kind of what it comes back down to. And yeah, once you are that used to the game and you've got the feel of the controls and what you're supposed to do down pat, it's kind of hard to see anything bad about it just because I just know it kind of inside and out. But I do understand it does handle strangely. There is a lot of weird. Snot is an awful level. Yeah, so I get it. I get it why it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I could never argue this as a even top 100 game of all time. There's no way. But it just, for me personally, I love that game so much.
Fair.
Yeah. Seeing the speedrun of Snot, yeah.
It's like how much I love Aladdin, but I know that there are people who don't, so...
Yeah, that game. Ugh. No thanks.
Playing that as a kid repetitively definitely was... Oh, man. Like, I remember the... Not the carpet ride level itself, but the precursor to that one, and seeing so many people miss
that one ledge that blends into the background.
Blends in the background, yeah. If you don't know about that, you're kind of fucked. And that is thankfully something that has always stuck with me once I realized that.
Yep. I am with you 100% on that. I hated that level, and I still think that ledge is bullshit.
Oh, I guarantee you it's bullshit, but I knew that it was there, so...
So yeah, we kind of got that similar vibe there. It's the same thing with Earthworm Jim. I know Snot is horrendous. I know Buttville is a pain in the ass, but like, at the end of the day, it's just... Oh, I killed him.
I'm sorry. Just you saying Buttville in terms of a game, it's like, yeah, it sounds like you created that game.
I mean, Buttville is hard, but when you know what to do, it's not that bad.
Yeah. But trying to learn that in the 5-hour time period that you got.
Exactly. Yeah. If I was just playing that game for the first time, I would have a completely different opinion of it, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6 for me, Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
What a great game.
And from I just want to say, from like 8 on, are games that like this list was actually really hard for me from like number 7 to number 3, figure out where to put these ones, because I really enjoyed all of these. However, I have to place Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Zombies 8, Mark 8. My neighbors.
Oh. I was like, boy, he's having a stroke.
My brain read that. My mouth said another thing. And I had to figure out which was wrong.
They're just visiting. Yeah. They're over next door. Don't worry about them.
Oh, and I really like this game, but I remember playing this with my friend Corey, not the Corey that you and I know, but a different Corey. Way back when we played like t-ball and softball together, growing up, and I remember it was more fun with 2 players than single player, which I think definitely, obviously you got 2 players, it's going to be slightly easier, even though you have to stay on the same screen. But 2 players definitely makes that baby level a hell of a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
And then for me also, I did not really give this my all because I was still sick, and just wanted to get a play in for it. So I don't think I did too terrible. So.
You did pretty good I think you only did 1 run, but you still got really far. I love Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's so good.
It is a good game.
Number 6, and probably one of our biggest disagreements here, I had Nightshade. I loved Nightshade. I I got the like right off the bat getting into it. Um, I started learning that okay, I really needed to dedicate time to learn the patterns of the fights. And so once I dedicated that time and studied and practiced the fights, and I went through 2 or 3 deaths just trying to figure out how to fight things.
Mhm.
Once I got that down, it was so much easier. I was like, okay, I know that the rat is going to swing his tail and then do a spit, and then I can jump in and hit him 3 times, and then repeat that. And once I got that, then I was like, okay, now we're cruising. Um, and I loved the whole premise of the game where you were going around and investigating things, and there's a ton of red herrings. The one thing that doesn't put this any higher is that you can soft lock, and I did, and that pissed me off.
Oof.
Once I found out, I was like, oh, this fucking sucks, because you have to buy hot nuts 3 times to get to one of the bosses. But if you are out of money and you have found all the money in the game, because I went and bought all the red herring shit from the shop, I was out of money and I could not progress any further.
That's rough. I did not know about that.
Yep, I found that out after my run. And I was like, oh, no wonder I couldn't figure out what to do next.
Yeah, what I expected from Nightshade was Leisure Suit Larry, and what I
Okay.
ended up getting with Nightshade was that giant pile of dinosaur poo that you see in Jurassic Park. Yep.
Okay. No, I liked it because I liked the puzzles and everything, and the combat. Um, it's something, but it was something I was able to work around, and I eventually played Nightshade offline and beat it. So I had a good time with it.
Alrighty.
Number 5, the top 5. Oh, by the way, Nightshade starts what I call the section Nintendo Seal of Quality.
Because back in the day, though, that was how you knew
That's how you knew.
games were.
That's how you knew a game was good. It had the Nintendo Seal
Yeah,
of Quality.
exactly.
And what's
Exactly.
funny is most of those games are not Nintendo games. So number 5,
Yep. It's
top
always
5.
fun. Yep, top 5. It's always fun with that seal too, because you look at people that make phony copies, and like the seal is just round rather than oval. Anyway, number 5 for me was Worms Armageddon.
Yay!
It took a little bit of getting used to, because the only prior experience to something like this I have played was I always forget it. Something Bound. Not Earthbound. I can't remember. But you only play as your own character, and you play
Mhm.
against other people. Here, you have the control over your entire team.
Yeah.
And I would have liked it more. This definitely falls into the I wish I had more than 5 hours to get to know this game.
Okay. Yeah.
The tutorials definitely helped, but I think with our time limit, the fact that if you lost a round, you had the chance to get demoted, etc., etc. I would have really liked to explore more weapon options. I fell into the groove where I got comfortable with certain weapons and never really branched out trying everything else.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that
is
was a bummer about the tutorial, I thought, is that it didn't really give you the option to test every weapon, because
mhm.
there were certain weapons that were completely left off. And so you're left there like, I don't know what this special weapon does. I just picked it up, or I picked it as my team special. And you just like, I don't know how to use it. And so you just blind fire, and most of the time you just end up wasting it.
Yeah. And like I can't remember if I actually used the baseball bat or not, but having watched other people use it, it's like, man, I really wish I would have used that more.
Mm, I did use the
'Cause there were
baseball bat a lot.
yeah, there were certain scenarios where that would have been just superb, and here I am just blasting away at them when they're standing right next to me.
Yeah, I like the baseball
Getting
bat.
into the
It's good.
challenges would have also been fun. I agree, Steven and his rocket.
Number 5, I had.
A lot of fun clips too. Yes.
Yeah, there was a good.
God
some
damn
good
it,
clips.
Vinny.
Vinny. Number 5, I had Pepsi Man.
A
I
lot of different
mm-hmm. A lot of different placements here.
placements. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. So I've mentioned this before, but I have seen a lot of Pepsi Man. I have heard between GDQs, between Captain showing me a long time ago, um, watching Decky and Quantum and Grom's fiance Dixie, um, watching Mercy play. Like it just saw so there was just a period where it was all over Twitch, in our little friend circle here.
Right.
And so I saw a lot of it and just never played it. But then when I actually played it, I was like, this is actually a lot of fun. I am really enjoying this. Yeah, there's some parts where it's a little clunky or it just looks weird, but then I did 2 runs. I only needed 2 runs to beat it. But like by the second run, I was like, all right, I get it. I understand the physics. I understand what I'm looking at. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it. And
Yeah.
it being an absolutely cornball story that's just
It
silly. And
was hilarious. The story was hilarious.
Pepsi for TV game. Pepsi, only my choice. And I love it. It's so blatant corporatism. Number 4. What do you got?
Number 4 for me is Lemmings.
Wow. I did not realize you hadn't placed Lemmings yet. But that is really high.
Looking back, I really enjoyed it. Like we talked about this earlier, but I had some like oh duh moments, And the biggest one is after the level that I could not beat, watching someone else play, and then just realizing what I had at my disposal, and just like, oh, I should have gone diagonal straight through, and there you go. Diagonal down rather, and then straight through. It's like that's how you beat that fucking level.
Yep.
I really wish I would have been able to see outside of my stream more than being in it, if that makes sense. But I really did like Lemmings. I do like those types of games that make you think, and it's like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now? I think overall I should have taken a couple of breaks to refresh my brain. I think Lemmings was one that I just kind of played an all in one go, and in the end it ultimately hurt.
Yeah.
Because it did wear my brain out. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. What are we doing now?
I think I did Lemmings in 2 shots, and I really should have broken that up more. Like, I know how I play puzzle games, and I know I get mentally weary quickly. And I really should have broken that up into like 3 or maybe even 4 streams.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your clip where you swore like a sailor 10 seconds straight or something like that. It was so good.
It was that one where you have to precisely dig 50 Lemmings in a row, and I got to like 48 and fucked it up, and I was so mad.
You got to one of the last ones.
Yeah. Again, another spot where I would have loved to have had a pause button to time it just right.
Yeah, it went right under your mouse because you went the minimal pixel over it.
Yep, my mouse bumped just 1 pixel over, and I lost it. I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
Oh, I loved watching Garlips play Lemmings because he was like, oh, this one's Dave the Builder, Dave the Digger, Dave the,
Dave with the fists.
Dave with the fists, yeah. It was always fun watching, like after I had finished, going and watching the same mistakes that I made, that same, like people would make. They'd be like, oh, we can't explode the ground here, or we can't explode this guy here. There's now a hole in the ground and everyone's falling through.
Yep. I remember I got through one of them the completely wrong way. Like, going back to it, I watched somebody else do it, and I'm like, oh my god, that would have been so much easier. But rather than digging diagonal and then digging horizontally to get to basically to the end, I decided that I needed to time the kamikazes just right.
That's the level that I could not pass. Yep.
And I was like, I did it so much harder than it needed to be.
Yeah.
I did it. I got it.
You did. You did.
And
I think that's what I tried to do as well, but I believe I ran out of time.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, I didn't get too much further than that though. Number four. Number four, I had Doom, and um, playing Doom last season on the wheel really sparked a love for the game for me. Um, so much so that I had to just go through and play them all. I know I mentioned it already, but um, it has a really old school charm that appeals to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the most part, it runs easily, it plays easily, it's easy to understand what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then you add on that you have the GZ Doom that lets you vertical aim, so it feels just a bit more modern, a bit more quality of life, and it's a fun game that you can play that I can play over and over again if I wanted to. Top
Number
three.
of Secrets was just boom too. Number 3 for me was FTL, a pleasant surprise for a game that I've had in my Steam library for the better part of 12 years, something like that.
Yeah. FTL
finally got around to playing it.
Absolute great game.
I found myself playing it a lot after the wheel as well. I really enjoyed pretending to be in Star Trek for it. Mr. Worf, engage. Or, engage the weapons. Oh, we're dead.
Whoopsie. Yeah.
Mistakes that I made. I can't remember if I made these mistakes while on the wheel or after. Don't send a team over to an automated ship that doesn't have oxygen. They will die.
Yep.
By Lolo and Mark. I thought we could destroy it from the inside out. No, there's no oxygen. You're not going to do a damn thing.
Nope. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I will. It's one of those games where I will probably be playing a lot more in the off season. Right now, I'm kind of in a Stardew Valley funk due to 1.6 dropping. But once that wears down, I'll probably go back to FTL, which will be nice because I don't have to worry about just playing on the one ship. So.
Yeah, Ash has been crushing some Stardew Valley, and I think, Decky, we need to get a wheel community Stardew Valley going. Get on that.
Lord.
Yeah.
I actually have it paused right now because I've lost track of time when you messaged me for this.
I know. I was like sending you messages and you weren't responding or getting into the chat, and I'm like, God, I know you're there. I know you're there. I can see you playing games.
I did see the message, and then that's when I realized my camera was zoomed way far out. You could see like halfway across the room. It's like, okay, I got to fix this camera thing.
Gotcha.
So, but right now, like, if you could see my other monitor, I'm halfway through Starfruit picking day, so gonna be a nice money day there.
I don't know why you're avoiding it, Decky. Are you just afraid of how much time you're gonna sink into it?
Oh my gosh, I have spent well over 800 hours in this game. I saw the other day. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's a blast. I still don't think I've done everything in that game, but like most farm sims, I get 1 or 2 years into it, and then I'm like, all right, new game time.
Yeah. Yep.
Number 3, I had Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Not too much deviation there for us there.
Nope. Zombies is a fantastic game, and
zombies, Mark, zombies.
Zombie, one of them. It was one. It was a really big one. It was the baby. It was the baby.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, like I've loved this game since I was a kid. Like my friends that introduced me to Earthworm Jim also introduced me to this game. So, part of my friendship with them is kind of tied to these games, or the other way around.
Right.
And so when I play these games, it kind of gives me the warm and fuzzies because, like, oh yeah, I remember when Nick and Ian played this game with me and showed me. And I got way farther than I've ever been before, and I loved every minute of it. I can't get enough of that game. I could go another 5, 10, 15, 20 hours if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's
one of those things where I could have sworn I had it on SNES, but I looked through my stuff and I don't have it, so I'm going to have to pick it up at some point.
I think I have it, but I'd have to look.
I'm going to wait until A, I have a job, and then B, when Cody gets one in, I'm gonna redeem a personal shopping spree and
There
buy
you
it
go.
from Pink Gorilla. So, along with some other things that I got my eye on.
We're gonna be headed to Seattle here next month, so probably gonna.
Nice.
I'm gonna see if we can't drop on by one of the locations and shop
Dude,
around a bit.
do the main one where Cody works, and I'll watch the stream and see
Okay.
if we can.
I'll wave
be
at
like,
you.
dude, see that guy in there? Call him a butthead.
Oh.
I wouldn't do. I mean, I have him
As
say
soon as-
something. I don't know if he would. But...
As soon as he called me a butthead, I'd be like, Kylo! And just yell it and make a scene.
But no, that would be cool to see him on stream.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. Who's getting the silver medal?
Number 2 is Sonic CD.
Wow. I forgot about Sonic CD already. I'm sorry.
I really enjoyed it. This was one where after beating the game the first time, I was like, I can do better with this with the bonus levels, and I needed to beat you, and so I just did.
Yeah. You can
playing
have it.
through a second time was easier, levels wise. Bonus stage wise was still shit. I'm not gonna make any bones about that. The bonus levels were shit. But at the core, it was still a Sonic game, and once you figured out how certain bosses work, they were super fucking easy.
Oh yeah, the base stages and the bosses were easy as fuck. Well, except for the Metal Sonic Chase one. That one was a pain in the ass.
That one was yeah.
That was the only one that had any difficulty to it.
My favorite thing about Sonic CD the entire time was psyching Tater out that there was going to be a second phase to the boss. Because he was so excited. He's like, yeah! Wait, second phase, and you could just see almost all the color drain from his face. And then he realized it was a joke. Oh, fuck you, Kylo. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, Steve and I played through the American and the European versions, and I really wish I would have just used Tom's. It sounded like it just had the superior soundtrack. Pepsi Man and Sonic R. For the silver medal here, I had.
Before you continue, sorry, I still go back and watch that clip because it is.
That was a good one.
just-
You saw it. You saw he drained. His face went pitch white.
Anyway,
no,
continue. I
yeah,
apologize.
number 2, and I don't think you'll disagree with this one too much. FTL.
Yeah.
Not only did I, after the wheel, just immediately play more FTL. I went through. I finished getting all of the achievements, and then I went and downloaded FTL Multiverse and played through that and beat that once already. And now I love that game. There's so much to it, and Multiverse even adds way more things. Like, it gets so meticulous on everything, and I love it.
And see, this was an actual tough choice for me between which game would take number 2 and which game would take number 3. But ultimately, Sonic 2 took that spot because it was like I went through a whole other playthrough and still enjoyed myself and got a higher spot than what I initially did, even though it added time to it. Is because I added to the what do they call them? The time gems or whatever, time stones.
Time stone,
not the
yeah.
Chaos Emeralds. So
Right. Yeah, like you were mentioned, all the bosses are piss easy and all the stages are piss easy except for the Metal Sonic stage. And then you have
then once you figure out the jumps, it's not bad.
And then you have the awful special stage, and that right there is the shit turd diarrhea sandwich that was Sonic CD for me.
But FTL is one, like, FTL is obviously the longer game of the two. And I think that's why there's so much more to do in FTL. So with Sonic CD, boom, I went through and beat it. So that's, I think, and ultimately I like Sonic, so.
Yeah,
FTL plays too.
FTL I kind of feel like is a game I can really just recommend to anybody. Except maybe if you have trouble reading. If you're a kid, probably don't play FTL.
Understandable.
But, you know, to any adult friend gamer, I'd say this is a great game. And Multiverse is a lot more reading.
Yeah. And Stormy, I was proud of you for that one.
Yeah, Stormy beat its ass. She was like right behind me too. All right, gold medal, Kylo. I already know what it is, but
Yep, number 1 goes to Super Monkey Ball 2, and this isn't just because I nominated it. I genuinely love Super Monkey Ball.
yeah, Monkey Ball was a good game. It was a great game for the wheel, and it was a great game in general.
Yeah, even had I not nominated it, it still would be the number 1 spot.
I think you hit a bullseye with that nomination. I don't think there was anybody who hated it.
There really wasn't. And especially for me, my music cut out through some of the worlds, and so I just put on
Katamari.
Katamari Damacy, yeah.
That's right.
Which fit extraordinarily well.
Yeah, that was a good game. It was fun, and it was fun watching like Garlips play that when he turned monkey mode. Because he landed a jump and almost died, but then got into the goal and he just started turning into. He started going. I fucking lost it. I lost my shit when he did that.
There were some great runs by everybody involved. So.
I think you and Garlips and Captain and somebody else all beat it, didn't you? There's 4 of you, wasn't there?
I beat it right pretty much at the 5-hour mark.
Right.
I time maged seconds off to where I had errors and shit, and I was like, okay, I technically beat it within 1 or 2 seconds, give or take. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Time Wizard. The council was kind enough to say, yeah, we'll count this as a clear right at the 5-hour mark. Anybody beats you, that's like, yeah, no problem. I wanted the clear, you know.
Yeah.
I was that close. Yep. I found seconds that could be shaved off, and again, seconds count. So when you're neck and neck for some things.
Something the matter?
Something the matter.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I love seeing 4 completions on the game, and it was not a short game. Like you said, you got to the very end at 5 hours, and there wasn't a single soul who disliked the game. I think maybe Tom. Tom might have been the only one that had a bad experience, but that was entirely emulator related.
Yes.
I remember him having, but yeah, it gave us a lot of good moments. It gave us tons of clips, shit that we're probably going to reference for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I hope we get this on either a Return of a Legend or a Wheel of Sequels.
That would be nice.
I think that'd be wonderful.
And I just now realized what your number 1 is, and holy shit.
Yeah. So my number 1 was Rocket Knight Adventures, and
that surprises me.
I didn't think I was gonna have a good time with this game. I thought I was going to absolutely hate this game going in, so the bar was really, really low. I mean, the only experience I had with this prior is walking through a Hollywood video and seeing the case and just continue walking because I was gonna go play Shining Force 2. And B, the little clip of Decky dying at the lava door. That is all I knew about this game. And then I read it and I played it and I was like, man, I really like this game. I liked how it handled. It was a little bit slippery, but I liked the rocket mechanic. And once I learned that you're invincible as you rocket, it just gives you free reign to do all kinds of shit with it. And when I beat it and then realized I had played the European version on accident, I wasn't super disappointed because I was like, oh, I get to play it again. Here we go. And
I just learned that. Whoops.
Yeah, you are completely invincible when you use your rocket attack. And yeah, I used that. I was able to.
You told me after I submitted mine, and I was near the last boss again, and you were like, yeah, just charge up and boom, he's completely.
Oh yeah, one of the penultimate bosses, because there's like 1,000 of them, but one of them, there's one you can just absolutely cheese, and I didn't figure that out for the first 5 or 6 lives, but then I did, and I was like, whoa, well this ain't so bad. Yeah,
At the end there, I did use save states.
Mm-hmm. And
Because I was gonna beat the game. I was not gonna start over. And this was, of course, after my the 5 hours. So
thank you, my A-bot. I don't know why you're talking right now, but okay. I'm not signing off. Maybe he's just being randomly grateful. But yeah, I had a blast with it, and then when I went to the American version, and then there was a whole nother boss, and I was like, yes, more Rocket Knight content! Ah! And I had such a good time. Although the hardest mode is complete bullshit, so I might go back and play the second hardest difficulty sometime. But yeah, that was my and I think a lot of me placing this number one was just me being surprised at how good it was.
yeah, fair. Well, and like despite all the crap that I gave it while playing, I did enjoy it. Like, for what it's worth, placing that game at number 10 was pretty high for me.
Yeah. When I was placing the games, I was like, man, there really weren't a lot of games that I hated. There were like two that I was like, no, just no. And then there was a couple that I just kind of had bad experiences with. But I mean, really, from maybe 16 up, I had a good time overall. I had a good time.
Yeah, for me, from 13 up, like
13, yeah.
I did even enjoy Super Mario Kart. It just got balls hard at the end there, which took away from the fun. But Earthworm Jim, Nightshade, E.T., Dynamite Head, Metal Slug X, Tomb Raider, Street Fighter Alpha, those games can disappear, and I would not shed a tear at all.
Yeah. Pokemon Gold I'd do with an easier rule set, and Typing of the Dead I would rather not do just because it hurt. Sonic's, but yeah, I'm with you on ET and Sonic CD. I'd rather just never touch them again. Yeah. That is our top 20. All right. Decky, Stormy, Steven, Tater. What do you guys got? What was your top game of the season? I have better music to play.
I was gonna suggest we just type it like we have them submit their own lists in the Discord.
There, got the
FPL
Mario
top for Steven.
Playing some more appropriate music.
I have you muted because otherwise
It's the Super Mario Kart podium music.
Ah.
Typing of the Dead? Really? Over ET?
That surprises me for Stormy.
Yeah.
I mean, she did really, really well at both.
Yeah,
ET
she
and
crushed
Typing
both of them.
Did she get first place for both of those?
She got second in typing. I think Steven beat her.
Oh, okay.
Didn't like zombies or Gym. Hi, Fuchsia. Yep, season's wrapped up. Bomberman Quest, that was last season.
I mean, I got to admit, it does feel like that was yesterday. I remember that game very well.
Yeah, I'm with you though. It does feel last season and this season were, in my memory, very close together, but it was actually still months apart.
Yeah.
Hello, AI bot. Welcome back. Oh, Star Fox. Yeah, Star Fox was tough.
I believe I skipped that round. But now that I played every game in the season, that was my goal. I don't have to worry about doing that again in the future. So.
All right, Kylo. Glancing over, or just going by memory, the nominations for next season. Are there any that you are excited to possibly see? I know you put in quite a few. You put in quite a few nominations.
I did put in quite a few. Let's see. I think it was Wheel of seeing that has the... Yeah, here we go. Okay. Oh, that is bright. Well, first off, I'd be happy for any of the Zelda games. Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Zelda 2, which I know is everyone's favorite cup of tea.
Hey, we're gonna race that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Just the normal version, though, right?
Yeah, just normal version.
All right, all right. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 would be fun. Sonic 1, I'm not good at. I mean, I'm decent. I know that I know that Octo would still wipe the floor with me on that one.
I'm laughing at Decky.
Oh, what did Zelda 2? Zelda 2, the one on the... Oh, yeah, fuck off, Decky. Oh, okay, so this was for Laurel earlier, but now it's for you, Decky, and you get a second one. So... let's see. Oh yeah, I nominated. Oh man, I see a lot of my nominations. I see Eternal Darkness.
You put in quite a few, yeah.
Sky Shark. Sky Shark's a shmup, but you don't have to worry about blowing your thumb up for that one.
Oh, that's good.
Nightfire 007. That intrigues me because I have never gotten far in that game. So I was like, you know what? I think this would be a good wheel game.
Yeah.
Road Rash 3 or 2, either one of those would be fun, I think. Donkey Kong, I nominated that one. I would gladly take that one. I should have put in Frasier Fantasy. Damn it.
Frasier Fantasy. That was so funny.
That was a fun game. I still thank you for showing me that. My favorite game moment of the season, the moment Kyle... Oh, Decky. We're going to have words during Pirates tomorrow, I'll tell you that.
Is it R?
No, it's a letter.
Oh. I get those confused.
Did I nominate Toy Story? If I did, it's
did.
The Genesis version, and that's a tough game. That is a tough game.
You did?
Yeah, like there's a lot that I'm like, I see MK Mythology, so I'm guessing that's Mortal Kombat, and I wouldn't be too excited about that because it's a fighting game. But stuff like Dead Space or Doom 2 even.
I think Doom 2 will still be on the wheel of sequels next season, so
yeah.
So we'll get a shot at that for sure.
Crash Team Racing, I think, is fun. Fatal Frame, not sure if I recommended that or if someone else did, but I do enjoy Fatal Frame.
Yeah, that'll be nice to get another horror game on the wheel, I think.
Yeah, Super Bomberman, like Bomberman Adventures or whatever it was for the Game Boy was fun, but classic Bomberman, mwah.
Yeah.
So I see Super Bomberman and Mega Bomberman. Nice.
I do enjoy me some classic Bomberman.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac, I don't think I would be good at, but I would still enjoy.
I can crush some Binding of Isaac.
You would. If I know Sam has no interest in joining the wheel just because he's mentioned that it would feel like homework and he doesn't want to feel like that, but he would crush that game too. So
yep, he's good at it. He's really good at it.
He is extraordinarily good at it.
Oh my God, Bomberman Quest had great clips too.
It did. I raged in that game. I thought I was gonna break my controller.
So
Donkey Kong Country 2. I've always wanted to play Donkey Kong Countries. I remember getting them confused for Donkey Kong Land, so I never really. I thought that they were just different ports. Like I thought it would still be the SNES game just on Game Boy, but backwards. And I hated Donkey Kong Land.
Donkey Kong Land, yeah. The yellow cartridge?
So, whatever was on the Game Boy.
Yep.
And so I thought that was going to be what the SNES was like, just same thing, not fun. But from what I understand, DKC 1, 2, and 3 are pretty damn fun.
Yeah,
so,
I love 1, 2, and 3 Donkey Kong Country. So good.
Yeah, that would be fun to play. Yeah, so just looking at a lot of things. it's gonna be a good season no matter what is chosen. I think so.
Yeah, we
Definitely
had.
some stuff I've never even heard of before.
I mean, we had 85 nominations, so there was quite a few. Quite a good mix, I thought. Just in general, there was a lot of variety, and I was very appreciative of that. Yes, Fusha. On the left there is my 1 through 20 games that I enjoyed in order for this season. And on the right is Kylo's 1 through 20. And in the middle is our Wheel of Prediction results for the last 2 weeks.
What was 19 again?
19 was Zombies.
Oh, wow. I completely forgot that, or maybe missed that I placed for Zombies.
Yeah, I said you did good. You only had to play once. You did really good.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm over here playing, playing dumb, like I don't know what games have already been selected. But there are,
Yeah.
I am not about to give away anything. So if that's what you were here for, feel free to leave. But we've already started testing games. I mean, you caught me testing PS2. So there you go. There's the one hit you can have, is there's some element of PS2 in the next season.
Oh, I just figured you were going back and playing games from the season. So, but then you did mention, you were testing, because I mentioned this was last week when I mentioned that I was working on my list, and this was before I went home to visit family for Easter.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's some element of PS2 in there, and that's all you get from me.
Fair enough.
But I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think our next season list is gonna look really good.
I really, if I were to have to choose any of the Zelda games to get nominated, I really do hope that it is Ocarina of Time, because that is the three. If it's my recommendation, or pardon me, yeah, if it's my rec, I believe it is the Three Hearts No Deaths, and I want to watch people play that so
bad. Watch people just die and then have to start over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, but for what it's worth, find a fairy. You get 1 or 2 bottles fairly decently early. You can keep a fairy with you. Those don't count towards deaths.
Oh yeah, okay, that's not so bad then. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't even consider fairies.
Oh yeah,
I was just just be a pro and don't get hit.
I mean, that too. Eventually you get a fairy spell that gives you higher defense, the white outline around hearts, so anything that counts to help you. As long as you don't die.
As long as you don't die.
And for what it's worth, the death count goes up on a game over screen. So if you get hit and you fall down, then the fairy comes up, that's not a death. So
Yeah. Yep. Will be fun to see if it is chosen.
Yeah. Kylo's still upselling even after. I know it's been. I'm just pointing out what I hope what I hope is there, so I get to have some good watching, wheel watching time. So, like I did with Aladdin and Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's there's definitely gonna be some good wheel watching next season for sure.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time is one game where I wouldn't have to not watch people, because I have beaten that game well over 50 times. And so it's yeah.
Yeah, there's some really good ones I'd like to see. You already mentioned Donkey Kong Country. That's one I was pretty stoked about. Just because I'm an asshole and I love seeing painful games like Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero 1. And then even some basic stuff like there's Mario 2. You mentioned earlier Mario 64 is on the list.
Mario 64, yep. Which game is which game is Ninja Turtles 4?
That is Turtles in Time.
Is that Turtles in Time? I thought that was 3. Okay.
Nope. 3 is actually still on the NES.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's a really rare game. But yeah, TMNT 4 is Super Nintendo.
Oh, I just now see Super Mario Brothers 3. Hell yeah, I'd play that. I hope that one would be fun too.
Yeah, we got 2, 3, and 64 nominated, so getting any of those would be great.
Yeah. Probably can't use the whistle in that.
Let's see. 3 was Quantum's. Yeah, no whistle.
Yeah.
Quantum wants you to suffer. He probably also said no P-Wing.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's still a game that I've gone through every level anyway. Little Big World, Little Big. I almost said Little Big Planet, but the 6, one of my favorite zones.
Yeah, I like the Tiny Giant or whatever it is. Yeah,
Yep.
That's one of my favorites too.
3 really went off in the imagination for Mario games.
Yeah, they really did. You're right. They really kind of broke out because obviously 1 and the Japanese 2 were just basic, them trying shit out, and then
US 2 was just Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah, US 2 they just stole the ideas from somebody else, and then 3 and they're like, all right, let's get goofy with it.
Then Mario World was even goofier.
Oh yeah, I have a soft spot for Mario World.
I love 3 and World. Like if I were to go back and look at my Mario Maker levels, both on the Wii U and on the Switch, the majority of them are 3 and World.
Yeah. Captain nominated Pokemon Pinball. That's one I'd like to see.
I thought Ash nominated that.
Ash nominated Tetris and Tetris Sphere.
Okay, that's why I'm thinking.
Yeah, Tetris Sphere.
Ball. Yeah, my brain works in dumb ways.
Yeah. Tetris Sphere is a very strange game.
Tetris is another game where sandwiches completely obliterate everybody.
Kythius is a Tetris master too.
Oh.
I've seen Kythius stream Tetris and he's insane at it. You got a golden ticket.
A golden ticket, what would I pick for the wheel?
Hold on, let me guess. It's gonna be Ocarina because you've already said
it. That's of the Zelda games. Of all of these.
Mario 64.
Of all of these, does it have? Oh. Does it have to be what's nominated, or can I just still pick one out of my ass?
Our golden ticket usually is from the nominations.
Okay, because if it was from non-nominations, I would actually pick Banjo-Kazooie.
That would be fun.
I just watched Garlips play this a few days ago.
Yeah.
He didn't save, and so he's like, "Okay, I'm done." And then he goes to look, because he's like, "Okay, I'll continue this later." And he's like, "Wait, where's my save file?"
Oh no.
You gotta save in that game.
Oh no. Poor Garly.
Oh. But he did get pretty far. I love Banjo-Kazooie though.
I don't know it by heart. I think I've played it once, and I loved it. It was a good game. It controlled well, and it felt like you could make progress, like as long as you just kept playing.
Yeah. Where's Wally is gonna be like if that gets nominated. There's gonna be a bottleneck for that. I already know, which will be fun to watch. But ultimately. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to stick with Ocarina of Time if I had a golden ticket.
Okay.
3 Hearts, No Deaths challenge.
I think I already golden ticketed a game, but one I really want to see is Mr. Matt's Step Mania.
I've never heard of that. What's that one?
Step Mania is the PC keyboard version of DDR.
Oh, okay. I remember playing Flash Revolution way back when.
Oh yeah, yep. Basically same idea. Use the arrow keys to do DDR songs.
Flash Revolution is actually how I got into MC Chris. Because they
they had Boba. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Mr. Matt even offered to put together a track list for us.
Nice.
So if that gets through, I think that would be a lot of fun. And I am a sucker for rhythm games, so
yes,
love rhythm games.
Lego Racers would be fun too. From what I hear, Lego Racers is actually a legit good game.
You know, I've heard that before. That Lego Racers is good, and it's just like I have trouble getting past the veneer of it being a Lego game and being like, okay, this is just a simple game. But I don't know.
That actually brings into question, would like Lego games like Lego Star Wars or something, I wonder how good that would be for the wheel if you put it on the premise of how many gold bricks you can accumulate, not just by levels beaten, but how many gold bricks can you acquire in the 5 hours. I'm gonna have to think about that for season 7.
Yeah, that's how I set up Donkey Kong Country 2. Was the tiebreakers were your DK coins, then your Creme coins, then levels beaten.
There you go.
So
yeah, and I just genuinely think like Lego games are fun anyway. Like they're nothing groundbreaking, but they're just genuinely fun. They're fun to play co-op as well. Like my friend Lance.
You and Lance played them all of them.
Oh yeah, we played pretty much any Star Wars one. We played both Harry Potter ones. We played Indiana Jones. We did the DC Heroes one. I didn't really enjoy the DC Heroes one, but that's just preference. I'm not a big DC fan.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think my favorite ultimately was. Oh, and I have it. I need to actually go back and continue playing it, but the Skywalker Saga. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Anyways,
I think it'll be a lot of fun next season. We obviously have them all picked out, and we just got to test and refine rules now. And then we're going to hopefully start leaking out little bits and pieces to you guys. Ooh-hoo-hoo.
Are you going to be part of the team that creates puzzles for me to solve?
Yes.
I remember there was only a handful of us that cracked the wallpaper cipher.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And you were just with me for the ride.
I was just there, just like, get it, buddy. I was just cheerleading. And then once you got the cipher, then I was like, okay, now I can help.
Yeah.
I was also at work, so.
Yeah.
Yep, I think we'll have a good time next season. We're still hammering down dates on when we're going to start it and end it.
Join us for season 6, starting next week.
Get ready. Here's all the puzzles at once. Boom. But yep. So stay tuned. We'll probably start dropping little hinty bits here and there, and look forward to. I mean, there's gonna be a good list of games. There's gonna be some surprises. There's gonna be puzzles. There's gonna be lots of fun. So, all right, guys. I think that's it for us. Thanks for joining us. Congrats to me for winning. Yep, 3-time in a row champion. Thanks to Octobot for keeping it interesting for me. Really stuck it out right to the end. Gotta say,
Team Decky next season. Team Decky.
I gotta say, it was a lot more fun this season, in regards that I couldn't coast at any point in the game, at any point in the season. Whereas last season I could have taken 3 weeks off. So yeah, and I mean, Octo stuck it through while breastfeeding his child, and him breastfeeding his wife, and I don't know. There's a lot of.
What do you think about it, according to the great Octo?
There's a lot of breastfeeding in that household, from my understanding. Yeah, and I mean, to do that, so obviously he's got one hand on his kid, holding the kid, and the kid's suckling on him, and he's got his other hand on the controller, and he's still pulling out the times and progress and scores and everything that he did. Like, you got to give credit to that. That's tough and distracting.
That child will crush up.
Oh yeah, now just imagine how good his kid's gonna be at video games. We're doomed.
Yeah, I worry about that with you and your kids, though.
One of my children will crush you physically, and the other one I mean, she does pretty good at like edutainment games.
Okay. Give it time.
Give it time. But yeah, Vivian is like a barbarian berserker. So, anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next season for Pre-3.
See you next season.
When I think when the game list drops, it'll probably be a good idea. We can do another season preview. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's find somebody to raid. I think I saw Grom was online.
Hex Tree's online.
Oh, Hex is online? We can raid Hex. I don't get many opportunities to raid Hex. He's playing RimWorld, which I know Stormy likes RimWorld, so we'll go say hi to friend of the wheel, Hex Tree. I think he got what, 5th place, so he did really well.
I mean, for what it's worth, everybody did really well, no matter where they placed. They just
yeah, everyone did.
We had a lot of participation, and that is always a good thing.
Oh yeah, we had great participation. 27 participants at some point in the season. Not everybody stuck it through the whole thing, but you know, only 4 of those didn't do double-digit submissions.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, that's points. So of the 27 people we had, 19 did double-digit submissions.
That's
so
still really good.
That's incredible. That's great dedication, and happy to have everyone here. Fuchsia, I hope you can join us for more of the season next season. And yeah, congrats everyone. We'll see you next season.
Take care, everybody.
Let's say hi to Hex.
Alrighty, I'm out, man.
Hey, take care. Thanks for joining.
Yep, later.
Bye.